Hey guys, welcome back to So Serenity Podcast. I'm your favorite host, Nicole Hillary, and today I'm super excited because we have a very special guest talking us through some relationship tips today, and it's no other person but Pastor Chubby Ujah. Welcome to So Serenity Podcast, Pastor.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you for having me.
I'm really happy to have you here because, I've been following you for a while. So although you're my brother, I'm always excited about what you do for the Lord, your passion, your zeal in serving the Lord, and of course your music that I enjoy so much. So yeah, it's a great privilege to have you join So Serenity Podcast today.
Thank you so much. Deeply honored to be here. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So let's dive right in. Tell us, are you single or are you taken? Let's start from there.
I'm definitely not taking. I'm very single at the moment.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so that's the green flag for the girls. All right. Okay. So basically, we just want to hear from your experience today. I know you're definitely single. You're not married, but there are other single people out there who would like to, learn a thing or two from you. And I've had people who have called me up to say, hey, how do we manage XYZ being single? And I just thought to myself, okay, Chubby is someone that I know very well that is really experienced in doing the work of the Lord and should be able to give us some practical tips on how to navigate life as a single person. So how can trusting God's timing help reduce overthinking in the aspect of finding true love?
Well, that is very important. As you said, trusting God's timing. It's like you are in the university and you are in 100 level. You
Mm-hmm.
already know that there's a predetermined period of time that you are supposed to be in the university phase, and so you are not thinking in 100 level about, oh, where am I going to do my PPA for NYSC.
True.
You're not thinking about that. You're thinking about having good grades for 200 level and so on. Then when you get to your final year and then you're done handing in your dissertation, then you can begin to think about all of that. So I think the problem most times is many of us don't even know where we are in God's timing and God's plans and purposes for our lives. There is the temptation to begin to compare ourselves with other people that, oh, see my mates, see. But if you really have a revelation of God's timing for your life, you will rest assured and you know that, in the right time, at the appointed time, God is going to make it good, because like the Bible says in Ecclesiastes, it says he makes all things beautiful in his
In his
time.
own.
In
Yeah.
his time, not our time, in his own.
Mm. Absolutely, absolutely. I think I totally agree with you. And being that my name is Ikojo, meaning God's time, I believe in God's timing in everything I do. And everyone listening should also key into God's timing for every aspect of our lives. So have you ever felt pressured, like from friends or family, like you need to hurry up and find someone? And how did you manage the pressure?
Well, thankfully for me, my family has not pressured me in any way.
That's good.
And I am grateful for that. Yes, there are friends that I wouldn't say pressure, but those comments like, hey, guy, how far,
And I do
stuff
that
like
to
that.
you as well.
Yeah, but I see it more as genuine concern than pressure. As a matter of fact, if there's anyone that occasionally puts pressure on me, it's myself.
Mm.
It's myself, and it's usually not as a result of not being conscious of God's timing, but sometimes you just feel like, I don't want to be changing diapers at 60. I don't want to be doing school runs at, just stuff like that. So those kind of thoughts occasionally just come and, want to put you under a bit of pressure,
Yeah.
but then I don't stay there for very long. I just remind myself that it is better to get it right than to get it early.
True,
So
true. Why do you think the society makes us feel like being single is a problem to fix rather than just, a season to embrace?
well,
You know
I
how,
think
everyone thinks, oh, when you are single is a problem. Oh, why are you not married? What are you waiting for? But I feel like when you're single, it should just be a season, right? Like we've said, God's timing is always the best, and waiting for the right time at every point is very, very essential, right? So I feel when you are single, you should embrace that season and enjoy it while building yourself and, trying to just be a better person rather than just wallowing in the season of being single when the world thinks, oh, being single is a disease or something, whereas it should actually be a blessing. And the truth is,
Yeah.
oftentimes those who are single are hurrying up to get married, while those who are married, some people just feel, oh, I wish I could be single again. So yes, why do you think the society makes it feel like being single is, a problem to be fixed?
I think it's a purpose problem. I think it's a
True.
purpose problem because if you ask a lot of persons that want to get married why they want to get married, purpose will be one of the rarest things you will hear. Um, you will hear people say things like they want to have children. Most people feel that way, like, oh, my body clock and all of that. Women, even as men, and then also there's a matter of sex. There's also the matter of sex because especially as Christians, we have this issue more with Christians, people that want to do the right thing, like, oh, logically I should be having sex now. I can't have sex because I
Mm,
am single. So, and the truth is, sex is a valid biblical reason to get married.
mm,
The Apostle Paul said, if you cannot control your passions, you should get married because it is better to marry than to burn with passion.
mm,
So a lot of times it's just because people don't have a greater purpose to live for. Because when you see people that have a greater purpose to live for, most times people have to remind them that
mm.
it's to get married. So anyone that is saying their singlehood as a problem to be fixed rather than a season to, right now, as much as I desire to get married for a bigger picture, because the Bible says two are better than one because they
True.
get a better reward for their labor. If you get married to the right person, it has a multiplying effect on your
True.
life, on your ministry, on
Mm,
everything. So
mm.
that is one of the reasons that I want to get married. But at the same time, I realize that there are so many liberties that I enjoy right now that I will no longer enjoy as a married person. I can
Absolutely.
be here today and I can decide, I want to be in this country in 2 weeks. And there's nobody that's going to stop me. Only my bank account can control my movement right now.
Absolutely. True. True.
So, but
Freedom.
exactly, but if you are purpose driven and you have things to look forward to every day, time moves by very quickly. And they can become very impatient but
Yeah.
yeah, so as I said, I think the short answer is I think it's a purpose problem. If we
Mm.
have more people that are purpose driven, you will have more people that see it as a season in their lives to make the most of rather than see it as a problem that needs to be fixed.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so would you say that, the fear of being lonely drives people to marrying the wrong person? Have you ever felt like, oh, I really feel lonely? How did you manage that? And what would you advise anybody watching right now to do to be able to, ensure that they don't jump into the next relationship as a result of loneliness?
It is true. The first question, it is true that the fear of being lonely does make people go into relationships and marriages. But that is probably one of the worst motivators for being in a relationship or being in a marriage because you can be in a marriage and still be lonely.
True.
So if you feel lonely, it is a reflection of a vacuum in your life that you need to fill. And that vacuum is not supposed to be filled with another person. You should
Absolutely.
figure out why you are lonely. You should figure out why on your own your life is not exciting enough. Because such persons, when they get into marriage because of loneliness, then there is this unrealistic expectation on their partner because I was lonely, so now you need to be the center of my universe and everything. And it puts so much pressure. So
Pressure.
if
Yeah.
your life was not exciting while you were alone, you probably have no business getting married. You need to figure it out and you need to get your act together. You need to, it means you are bored and you are not purpose driven and you are the wrong candidate for marriage if that's the case.
Mm. So, well, has there been any time at all that you felt being single was a gift?
I do. Like right now, it's still a gift. I mean, I
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just that liberty to not, that independence, to not have to always explain your actions to everyone. I can calls late into the night right now. I have friends calling me from US or Canada. I can talk until 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, and there's nobody I
No
have to explain to.
questions.
No, oh yeah, there's actually this person, they are calling from a different time zone. There's all that drama is not there. And as I said, I can give money to whomever I like. I can, and nobody is telling me, oh, why did you give that lady money? You know what I mean? So yeah, look, I enjoy the fact that nobody is putting me under pressure. I
Pressurizing.
mean, that I will have to adjust a lot mentally when I get into another relationship, because my life as it is right now, there will have to be lots of adjustments when someone comes into my life. So until that person comes to force the adjustment, I just want to enjoy this and make
Enjoy
the
it
and
while it
make the most of
lasts.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, a lot of people tend to overthink being single, and that's just the truth and the reality of life. So, do you think, just showing gratitude for being in that season and just showing yourself some kind of self love help with, shifting your attitude from overthinking to self love?
Look, I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. When there isn't sufficient self-love, and when your sense of value and worth is attached to what people say and how people feel about you, then you are usually under more pressure,
Mm,
validation and all of that stuff. And then of course the company that we keep also matters. Some
matter.
people just have very bad company around them, people that make them feel like, if you don't have this in your life, then you haven't accomplished anything. So, company matters. I think if you're with people that are putting you under pressure, then you need to change that company and be with people that see it as, what we have right now. Let's make the most of it. It happens when it happens.
Mhm.
But self-esteem is a very important factor. When people have a low self-esteem and they feel like, oh, if I have not accomplished this in my life, then I have not accomplished anything. That
Anything.
is another thing that puts pressure on people. And
Mm,
it's usually, although it is more familiar with women, but men also come under that kind of pressure, because even society, there are some forms of discrimination with men. For instance, there are people that would not invite me to minister because I am not married.
mm.
Yeah, yeah, they just feel like, no matter how anointed you are, if you are single, we still can't trust you completely.
Wow. That's gross.
Apostle Joshua Selman is one in a billion. There's a point you get to where people cannot argue with your results, and they just have
Wow.
to break their protocols and their whatever and say, okay, you know what? Yeah, this guy, we just have to have.
Yeah.
But for majority, especially if you're a preacher or a teacher, for music ministers, they get away with it a lot more. But, for preachers and teachers, people just feel like we can't entirely trust you until you are married. So even men, Christian men, especially men in ministry, come under a lot of pressure. When you are beginning to do well, people begin to say, okay, you need to settle down now. Like, am I unsettled before? Why are you telling me to settle down? You know? So, or you need to begin to settle down now. And so, in order to gain acceptance and all of that, they come under pressure. So,
Mm.
in the end, I just feel like people need to be confident and secure enough in themselves to not let any of those things bother them. That's
Yeah,
that's what I
I completely agree with you. As much as marriage is very sweet, and I will encourage everyone to get married, it's also very important to wait for the right time, because you don't want to get it wrong. Because once you get into marriage and you get it wrong, then it's going to be frustrated for the rest of your life. I will encourage everyone to, just wait for the right time. It's very important to do the right thing at the right time, right? If you
Yep.
jump into it and then you're going to jump out at the end of the day, you cannot achieve anything. So yeah,
Yeah.
completely agree with you on that. Another question would be, how do you remain open to love without feeling desperate. Oftentimes you see that people try to say, oh, I don't want to seem as though I'm desperate, so I'm just going to keep my calm. Even though they love the person, they just want to hold back so they don't look desperate and all of that. But I feel for me, I would say if you love it, go for it. Why do I have to
Well,
hold back because
exactly,
I don't want to seem
exactly.
desperate? Who
That's
cares anyway?
exactly what I was going to say. If you love the person, go for it. And that's the thing with me. If I connect with you, and for me, connecting with someone for me is a very delicate process. We have to connect on 3 levels. We have to connect physically. I need to be physically attracted to you. Intellectually, I need to feel like I can communicate with you at the same level. And then spiritually, I need to feel like you are not going to be a liability to me
True.
spiritually. Once we connect on these 3 levels, if I like you, I will go for it, so there's no, and I think, look, society, social media, mainstream media, I think we've created a lot of guidelines around relationships that are just rubbish, to be honest.
Unreal as well.
They say, oh no, you must go to so number of dates before you do this, or you must wait for so period of time before you do this. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. You can know more about a person having an honest conversation in 1 hour than you would know about a person for 6 months if the person is dishonest.
Absolutely.
So if you like the person, male or female, if you are a lady and you like the person, let him know. It doesn't diminish you in any way. I don't know where we get the mindset from. I think it's more of a women thing, because I've seen that with women. They notice a guy likes them, suddenly they begin to feel superior and they begin to act condescending, like, oh, you are now beneath me because you like me. It's such a messed up mindset. If you like someone, let them know. If they don't like you back, you get on with it.
Exactly.
That's simple. Yeah.
I completely agree with you, honestly. I completely agree with you. I've have a couple of friends who met their spouses and got married within 6 months, and it's been over 18 years and they are still thriving
Wow.
together.
Amazing.
And I also have people who met people within 6 months or even less, got married, and the marriage crashed. So I
Mhm.
don't think it's dependent on
I,
the
I
relationship. It's
know.
just the individual that really
Yeah,
matters.
I know people that courted for 6 years, and within the first 6 months of their marriage, it fell apart. So there are no hard and fast rules about this thing. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So one last question is a bonus question. So if someone is
Okay.
feeling discouraged about being single, what's the first thing you tell them?
I think they need to find purpose and fulfillment internally.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're feeling discouraged about being single, it already shows that you are going to put a lot of pressure on whoever comes into your life. I don't believe in 50 in half and half equals one. I believe in one and one equals one. You need to
True.
find wholeness and you need to find completeness in yourself, and then meet someone else that is whole and complete. Then both of you will be able to nurture and supply each other. But if you're feeling discouraged, it's not might, it is a sign of a deeper problem that not being single will not fix.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming on
Thank
So
you.
Serenity Podcast today and for sharing your experience. I'm very sure our listeners have learned so much from this conversation today. So thank you
Thank you
so
so much for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
much.
God bless you. Bye
All
bye.
right, thank you so much, and it's a wrap for today's episode. Kindly like, subscribe, and share with someone who also needs to hear this. Thank you so much for joining today, and bye for now.